Hey YouTube, Mike the Gambling Guy back at you. So today we're going to play C2 Bet 4, kind of, right? Because we're going to be playing my way, so I don't actually bet the 4. But we're going to be back on the Regal Castle app. So if you've just downloaded the Regal Castle app from either your Google Play Store or wherever you're going to be downloading it from, you could also go to regalcastle.com and they'll tell you where to get it there. But you can do it absolutely for free. I'm not utilizing the free version because every time that I switch from one shoe to another shoe, there's a commercial there to watch, but that's the price of it being free. I'd rather pay the $1 a day and have it here for me. So here's all the different betting strategies that they have out here. There's literally a ton of them. I'm going to go ahead and use C2 Bet 4 and then going to come up here to the cogwheel. And I'm actually going to be utilizing a $6 unit bet today. It's going to be my base bet. So I'm doing the variant of C2 Bet 4, and then my money management, I'm not going to be doing the Mikey Super Marty because that's 9 steps. I don't need a 9-step Super Marty. Actually, I only need a 3-step Super Marty. So with that, I'm going to go to the Grand Martingale. Here's Grand Marty 4-step. That's all I need. So I'm going to go ahead and update. You're going to see it's $6, $18, $42. I won't be putting in that $90 bet. I just won't be going there because that is a full death square, right? I'm trying to do death square avoidance. So with that, let's kind of talk about choosing a table. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize the app. And so I'm not looking for a table that had just started. I want to get a couple columns in. And I want to find something that typically is either on good streaks or it's got good runs, right? So this is on chops. So here we've got some good chopping going on because if there hasn't been a 3 dropping down of 3 in a streak, then chances are we probably don't have a death square there, right? So that should be a good place to start. So I'm going to put on the red light. That's going to allow me to do all my input. So I'm going to go banker, player, banker. You can see that was a C1, C2, that's a win. It's marked in yellow since my red light's on. It's not actually counting against my profit or my bets down here. So then I've got a banker, a player, a banker, a banker, a player, a player, a banker, a banker, a player, a player. So that's looking for one more because we've got 12 hands in. They've got 13 hands in, now 14 hands because of the one tie. So that went player there, and it's asking me to do another player here. Since these are on streaks, let's go ahead and give that a shot. At least it's continuing down on the streak. And you can see streak is indicated here within the app. And our shield is off because I'm using my own shield. So we got to beat a 5, and player got it. So you can see I'm up 1 unit, in this case $6, right? So there's really just a few rules in order to play my way. The first one is if you have a death square when you're logging in the information into the app and you just happen to have a death square hidden in there somewhere, run away. There's plenty of other tables to find. Baccarat is a game that has a lot of repetition of patterns within its shoe. It's crazy, I know. But why subject yourself to that? We can find plenty of other shoes. We don't have to worry about that. If you run into a death square, run away. We'll make our money back somewhere else. We'll go into a recovery mode somewhere else. That's actually what we do. So now we have a banker. So we have a player banker, and this is calling for a player. So that this is going in streaks, and then it wants me to go over here. I'm going to say no. You can do what you want. You could literally say, okay, that one could go player. It absolutely can. I'm going to make that a virtual bet for me because I'm expecting this to stay in streak mode. So that should go banker here, and it did go player. So okay, went player. No harm, no foul. I didn't lose a unit. Obviously didn't win a unit, right? But that's the way that I read that. I go, okay, these are going streaky. So let's look for that streak to continue, and it didn't, which is fine. So now that one had won there. 1, 2, a winner. You see it's in yellow because we weren't there. That one's in bright green because we did win that one. So now we're looking for our next C1. So that's a banker, and it marks it 1 banker. And now you can see the system recognizes that it's in a chop mode. So if it wants to go chop, we're good with going chop. But we don't go any more than 3. And if this one had happened to go banker here, so it drops down again, it's going to tell me to go for another banker. And I wouldn't. I would literally just, that'd be another virtual bet for me that I could either win or lose. And I'm fine with that. Sitting out a bet or sitting out, you know, one series. So if it actually would have went, so if this one went 1 and then went banker, 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 I would have sat out. I wasn't going to be betting whatever it was going to be telling me. I wasn't going to be betting on the next bet because that's looks like the start of a death square. So let's just sit that one out and just let that one go. So now you see we're up 2 units, profit of $11.70. My goal today is $300. And now we look for the next 2, C1, C2. But it's important using the app so that way you're in line with the shoe. You're not just going, okay, what was the last 2? This should be my next bet. Do you really have to be in a hurry to make that bet? I mean, really? Yeah. Do you have to be in that much of a hurry? There's plenty of time. Just let what's going to happen. You're only waiting a couple. Sometimes you're waiting 6. I mean, that would be as if you waited for the C1, C2, then an entire death square came. And then you're thankful and you're running away with your money. So this one again here, if this was telling me to bet, I just wouldn't be making the bet. If it was telling me I'm banker, I wouldn't be making the bet here. If it was telling me I'm player, I would be because it's certainly in chop mode. So I'd be going for that one. But we would just make that a virtual bet. In this case, it's C2. So it's looking for our second one to determine what's going to be our order. And it looks like it's probably going to go banker, and it did. So this is that perfect example of we got our 1 and our 3, and I'm going to sit out this entire progression. It could certainly win on any one of the next 4 bets. Absolutely could. Absolutely could be a death square. Right? Don't put yourself in that risk. Just sit and watch it. Player. There was the one that I was afraid was going to happen. So now it wants us to go player. It could very easily stay in that chop and go back to banker. So this is important. This is where we are missing a potential death square. Potential because we could hit this player bet right here. We only would have cost ourselves, what, 2 units because we didn't bet the first one, didn't bet the second one. Don't care. I'd rather take less risk instead of walk straight into a death square and go, thoop, what'd I do? Now I got to recover that. Recovery should be easy. There was that next one. So you can see we got two L's that we've missed. So the system keeps telling me to bet $6. I'm like, no. I mean, it's right now it's in a chop. This probably wouldn't be a bad bet. If I went in and made a $6 bet, I could make the last. Probably could have made the last 2 here, since this is a chop bet, and we would have got our player, potentially got our player. Yep. So we would have won that one on the player. So that would have been a place that I could have went in and said, let's go ahead and do it. But for your sake, I'm like, no, let's just sit out and let's watch the whole thing unfold. But that one actually got back into what would have been a chop. That would have been one good place to go in and put our $6. Because what's the worst thing that would happen? if we would have lost bet those last two, I would have been down $24, and then I just would have had to go somewhere else to another shoe, because we would have had death square. So I'd had to leave this shoe, go to another shoe, and I'm just going to divide the amount that I lost, $24, divide that by 2. So my next bet would then be $12. If I lost that bet, my next bet's going to be $36. So I'm doing a $12 Super Marty. All right, but only for 3 positions. So if I lose that, then you're like, man, I lost a $12 Super Marty for 3 positions. And now we know that we're in trouble. So this is one that I'm going to go ahead and skip this banker. I'm going to do a virtual bet here, because I'm going to expect this to be in the chop, as it's showing chop, and to come back to player. And that would allow me to play it. If the virtual, if my virtual loss would happen to win. And it didn't. That actually would have been a win. So now this is a 1-3, but it's not asking us to bet. So there's no damage here. There's kind of no alarms going off. It'd only be if it was asking me to bet. We're just now looking for our C1. So we're looking for our first kind of view at what's going to be happening. So maybe banker's just going to get on a nice streak here. And you can see it has moved to streak. And the banker got it, so it's going to go banker, banker. And we're going to go banker for $6. Now, this could very likely go player, right? Because we know that we're hitting an area of resistance. This is also a good spot for a tie, because it's across here. This could very likely be a tie. But if it goes player, I know my next 2 bets are going to be for a player. So we got the banker, got the win. So now you see we're up 3 units. We're trying to get 4 to 5 units, and then bounce to another shoe. This is how I've been playing. Been making consistent money. Every once in a rare while, when I get into divide and conquer, that I get into my divide and conquer, and I'm starting to make that $12 bet. So I've had my $12 bet. So let's say I win my first $12 bet. Right, I'm down $24. I win that bet. My next bet would be for $6. But if I had lost all 3 steps as a player for C1, so if I had lost all 3 steps in that progression, then at a $6 unit, then I'm down $66. Because 42 plus 18 is 60 plus 6, $66. So divide that by 2, $33. So I'd be playing a $35 bet in order to have recovery. Player, and this is going to player. So $35 Super Marty in recovery. So if I miss the first one, then my next one's got to be $105. There's player. There's our 4th unit. 1 more unit, and we are done with this table. So what would happen if I lose 3 at 35? I mean, that's not comfortable, right? That's certainly not good. Well, at that point, then I'm going into my recovery, and that's using the Stern method. And I'm just looking for shoes that are on good streaks, and I have to win back-to-back bets in order to recover. So I'm dividing my loss by 4 or 5 or 6 times, and depending on what the loss is, so take that into more of a bite size, and then I'm looking for tables that are going to be going on streaks, so I can literally recover getting a back-to-back runs on streaks. I do have a video on that if you hadn't seen it. So this is calling for a banker. We're absolutely going to go for banker here because we are on our streaks. We're looking for that streak to continue. And if we look down here at the roads, Red's dropped. Red's dropped. Red's dropped. Looking for the red to drop here because this banker's showing red, red, red. And it did. It continued to drop there. So we got our banker. We got our fifth unit. And that wraps up this video. So again, this is C2B4, C2B4 My Way. All right, so this is the way that I'm playing it to do death square avoidance. If you want to know where I play, absolutely, just shoot me an email at mikethegamblerguy@gmail.com. I'm not going to send an invoice saying, in order for me to share that information, you've got to pay me a little bit of something, something. That's a bunch of crap. I know Orange Sticky Fingers does that, and it's just infuriating. Go ahead and shoot me an email, mikethegamblerguy@gmail.com. I'll get back to you. Until next time, Mike the Gambling Guy, I'm out.